Is it, you guys might have to read that to make sure everybody else can understand me on that page. Lucas taking over being the scribe. That's good leadership. You guys are good? You ready to present, Sam? No, I'm just going to ask you that randomly. I might ask you, I might not. But I want your definition and what you think characteristics are. At least characteristics. Okay. Okay, good. All right. In the sense of time, because we want to move forward here, you've done some great work, which is awesome. I've left tape at each of the tables. Please post your things left and right on the board. Great. Yeah. What's that, bud? Sure, but I gave you tape as well. I don't know. Just put the marker back up here if you want. Didn't go back in. Nice hands. Okay, you're going to grab your pen and your whatever you're taking notes with, and you are not allowed to sit beside a teammate for the rest of the session. Go. You are not allowed to sit directly beside a teammate for the rest of the session. Make sure you have your grab the part of the table, but you don't need to sit there by yourself on an island. You guys will fit your living space on the end. I don't care where you sit. Great. Good. A couple of observations. I'll wait for everyone to be completely focused. Okay, a couple of observations. I think maybe there were some leadership opportunities missed here already. So when I asked you to go to group work, it's amazing how many of you went to your little safe zones of the families you know, the people that you know in your own little world. You went and sat with your teammates. That didn't happen exclusively, but it was a primary theme in the room. Okay? I would challenge you when you're around this diverse and incredible group to surround yourself with different people. You're with your teammates all the time. I would challenge you as much as you can to get out and meet new people and create new relationships. Okay? So I definitely noticed this sort of safe zone behavior where guys just gravitated together. And because they knew each other, and it was safe, and it was easy, and no one was going to challenge me, and I don't have to step out of my box, okay? So I think that's a leadership opportunity missed. So these are just things you can do moving forward, okay? I know personally for me, I try to surround myself with people that inspire me and that can make me better in everything that I do, because my time is of value, and if I only have so much time in the day, I want to put it around people that make me better. Does that seem like not a bad way to start a day? Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to ask for one individual from each group to come on up. So I know whose group this is. Choose a representative. This should be good, but they're going to look at each other. I don't want to talk. You want to talk? I don't want to talk. You want to talk? Okay, you have 10 seconds to get somebody up here. Okay, good. So again, a leadership definition, or in the absence of one, some characteristics of a leader. Okay, go ahead. The crowd's yours.
All right, so the characteristics we chose for what makes a good leader would be a positive attitude always, is able to give constructive criticism when something maybe doesn't go right, is accountable, so also in the case when something doesn't go right, they don't just put the blame on everyone else, they accept what has happened, Another one would be takes ownership for his or her actions. Last one we chose also was shows the group what is necessary to succeed. So it doesn't just say, oh, we need to do this, leads by example.
Good. Who is the leader to you?
I chose you, Ian.
Whoa. Are you trying to round? Are you being sincere right now?
Yes.
That's really nice. That wasn't scripted either. I got 5 for you there. Now you have to say why though, not because I'm here. You have to justify that. You can't just say you're the leader.
Sorry, because last year, or this summer during Team O, we sort of helped lead our team and us together accountable.
You don't believe that, that's good. Okay, thank you, Cole. Okay, who did this one? Okay, you did all the printing, I saw you, so you don't get to do all the talking. Although, this is you, and I love this about you, but let's get somebody else in your group. Oh, good. If you ever not know, Justin has incredible penmanship. This is beautiful work. There's no doubt about that. Go ahead. Pardon me? You can do, yeah, no, it's on the board, you got time. Okay, pay attention, please.
Right, so for our characteristics of leader problem solving, so they take the initiative when a problem arises. They are responsible for their actions, so they own up to like the mistakes they made on the court or outside. They're accountable for others' actions. They try to bring the team up, and it doesn't like, but this is the point pointed out, making sure everyone's better. They bring the team up when they're down. So they outgrow laws, they keep the team positive and they're ready for the next game. And they lead by example. They set the standard for what is expected. For example, calling the ball up with an example like a drill, so everybody else can follow. And our definition of a leader is an efficient leader is someone who puts the team first, is accountable for others' actions, and is able to problem solve in tough situations. And then our example leader was just their coach in general.
Yeah, that's not good enough. Who is a leader to you?
Personally, a big leader to me is Clinton's dad, Tyrone Dowling. He really takes initiative in my point of view and sets the standards for what's accepted.
Good, stay. Does that make you feel nice?
It's not with me.
Yeah, no, that's a fair comment, but you got a teammate who you didn't know who I just put on the spot that acknowledged leadership qualities. That's not a bad thing, right? Yeah, I mean, come on, there's a bit of a buzz there. All right, give him a high five on my butt. Thank you. Show some love for God's sake. Okay, yeah, hang on. This is a good point. So one of the things that I think that we don't want to do is take credit for things that we do well. And I'm tired of this, we're Canadian or Canadian's nice. That drives me nuts. I'm not nice all the time, for the record. So, and I'm Canadian, 100% Canadian. So you can throw that theory out the window. All right, so 6 guys who played in the summer, stand up. This group, along with 8 others, 6 that aren't here and 2 alternates, did something extremely special. They did something collectively with a group of coaches, trainers, data volley people, support people, the OVA. They did something that hadn't been done in over 2 decades. 24 years they won a Canada Games gold medal. They also won the U.S. High Performance Championships in the international division. May be done again, hasn't been done yet. So in my opinion, this is a part of a legacy team. This is something special. We should acknowledge it. Give them a hand. Okay, that's enough about you. Okay, because what we don't do is we don't take the things that we do well and take a sense of pride in them. It's okay to be proud. It's not okay to be vain. It's not okay to be that guy that nobody likes because you're always telling everyone how good you are. But it is okay to celebrate excellence. And I don't think that we do that enough. This idea about acknowledging leaders, I mean, I had no idea you felt that way, but that's a nice thing. And you're doing it instinctively, which is nice. You're not doing it because you want to get noticed. Okay, who did this one? Come on up. Okay, be careful the English stuff. I don't want to press you guys.
Okay, so we came up with 5 main points of leader. First one was lead by example. So whenever you're in practice or wherever, leaders should be going 110% and showing people what they should do. And off the court, should be positive and nice to people. Our second one was take accountability. Just in case I can't say that. Accountability for their actions. So a leader always knows what he does good and what he does bad. And if he does something bad, he'll accept that it's his fault and he'll say it to everyone. Number 3 is a problem solver. So whether there's a problem in the team and teammates mad or
someone's down, he brings them up, or like anything in the classroom, like right here, he'll solve it. Our fourth one is if someone takes initiative. That's right here, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
your
okay.
story, I'm not
Okay.
gonna.
No, like the word.
Yeah, no, your English is spectacular.
Okay, well, someone who participates a lot and like in little groups would write and would like give people ways before, like if they don't know what to do, give them hints and it can help them a lot. Another fourth one is someone who's a positive teammate. I think a lot of leaders are like positive and help people in a good way. Like I don't see many leaders that are mad and like that bring people down. I think that's one of the big ones for a leader. And the leader that I chose that I had in mind was LP, because he's the one that started organizing this program and making us, he wants us to bring us to the next level. And he has all these charts and things to like make people better. So he wants to lead us to becoming better people.
Good, excellent, thank you. Props to you, LP. Bon swap. I just made that up. You can edit that into the video in case you're doing a bilingual channel. Okay, this one here. Who's this one? Come on up. It's a lot warmer in this room than it was last night, eh? Is it just me?
This room's warm, the gym's cold.
Yeah, I'm like all of a sudden like burning up. Go ahead.
Okay, so for us, a good leader is someone that inspires others to go and do better and to achieve their maximum potential. Leads others to achieve a common goal. They don't just tell people what to do. They work together as a team so they can all achieve that common goal, which could be winning nationals, making Team Canada, making Team Ontario. They communicate well with others and often with peers. They don't just go and exclude their goal to just a few people. They want everyone in the team to know so that everyone can achieve to that excellence. They always set a good example because a good leader never goes and puts everyone down, only says bad things. They always want everyone to be positive and they want everyone to strive as well as possible. A definition of a good leader is someone who inspires others and leads them through their words, actions, and towards a common goal.
Very good, good. Who's the leader for you?
A leader for me is probably Matt Harris, my coach, because we had the same coach since 13U, and this year he came in, he changed everything because he wants us to win nationals and do something that our club hasn't done in a long time and won a whole entire nationals, like a real nationals, not just the Eastern one.
Right.
And he wants our whole entire team to strive as high as possible.
I'm sure he wants you all to get better too, so. Okay, good, well done. Now we're turning class, I like it. Okay, I think this is the last one, or two more. We have two more? This one for sure, I know. Come on up. LP, you're getting double up here, I think. I see they wrote your name on this one.
No, I'm not sure if they think I made the selection like for Team Ontario.
Whatever it is, it's working for you, whatever's happening. Okay, go ahead.
So for our group qualities of leader are communication, being inspiring, confident, persuasive, holding themselves accountable, responsible, and inclusive. A good leader is somebody who never puts themselves above others, takes initiative and has a goal and wants to achieve it. And then for me, a good leader was Kerry McDonald. He's one of the coaches at UBC. He was very inspiring, kept our team together very well.
Good, I like it. I love this word just jumped out at me when I read this right away. Talk to me about what you think about the word persuasive. Go ahead. Your group said it, so.
So he has to persuade others to think the way he does, want the things that he wants as well. So he can be this by public speaking, so one better ways to be persuasive.
Can you read my writing?
Yeah.
What's that say?
Influential.
It doesn't say influential.
Influence.
Times have to follow you, but it doesn't say influential.
Yeah.
It says influence. Okay, good. Thank you for coming up. I think language is important. I say this as a parent, let's take volleyball right out of the equation. All I have with my children, my kids are older, they're 28, 23 now. The only thing that I have with my children is influence. Okay? I can't tell them what to do. I don't want to tell them what to do. They're young adults now. So when they were younger, I build the bricks of trust, okay, and give them more decision making along the way. And as they get older, all I can do is influence, and hopefully in a positive way. I just get nervous about the word persuasive, but I know your intent, because I don't think we can really persuade people to do anything. I think you have to want to do something, but I think we can steer people in the right direction. Does that make sense? I think we can definitely steer people in the path we want them to go, but we can't make them take that path. Okay? So that's why I just wanted to talk about that for a second. So far it's excellent. We have one more group, correct? Great, so somebody come on up. I think we know what we're doing here, so come on up. There's some really good work here. I think you're seeing some themes, some common themes are coming up on a lot of the sheets, which is great.
Okay, so for our group, we started off with traits. And we started with confidence, so you need confidence to be able to like get up in front of the group and tell them what to do. And then likable comes through being positive and engaging, which is the next point. So you have to be engaging to get like the group going. Okay. And then you also have to be responsible because you're also like in charge of leading a bunch of people. And then for accountability, if something goes wrong, you have to be able to step up and take ownership for what happened. And then actions would be always giving their best, so like max at 110%, like showing everybody else what to do. Puts others first because you're a leader. Like you're not just yourself, you're also speaking or playing on behalf of other people. And you also try to make other people better, which is probably the main goal of being a leader. You don't want to just propel yourself, you want to propel your team. And then our definition was an individual who is respected and people are willing and wanting to collaborate with.
Good, very good. Who's a leader to you?
Alfie.
Oh, God, Alfie is Alfie Love Show. Okay, very nice. Good. Why is he a leader?
Why? Because he is all of these.
No, look at me. Tell me why is he a leader. Tell me why Alfie's a leader to you.
He.
No, don't look at this.
Okay.
Mono a mono. Why is Alfie a leader?
I just like,
look at me.
easy to follow him. I feel like he's a good leader and he's confident, engaging in all of this stuff that I previously said.
Good, that was a challenge there, now, that's all I can say. I know, kids can't look at me anymore. Good, good job. Okay, give her a hand, good job, everybody. Probably save these maybe for you.
Sure, I'll
Okay, so we'll take one down and then I'll leave here, if you can get the screen going down.
I'll just leave it there, right?
Okay, good. So a couple good things came out of there. We brainstormed, we worked collaboratively. Hopefully we shared some dialogue and things that are important to us. We collected our thoughts and we presented. So these are all, a lot of mini skills came out of that assignment. I think these things are very important to do as a team. We'll talk a bit about that along the way, but this was a good start to the day. Already this group has more engagement this morning than you did last night when we started. Can we agree on that, I think? I think for sure. And I get that it's 8 a.m. and it sucks, but it sucks for all of us, so that's just the way it is. We just have to wait for this to warm up, I think. Okay, so I can still work off of this for you. Okay, I personally think, and first of all, I'm not a leadership expert. These are just sort of my beliefs in leadership. I've been fortunate enough to work with some incredible coaches for the last 10 years in the OVA High Performance Group and be around some incredible athletes. And I think there's some common themes and characteristics that I've seen. I can tell you for me personally as a coach, culture and people is the #1 factor for me. Now that may not be the #1 factor for Matt or for Steve or for Lynn or for Kevin, for any of the coaches in the room, but for me as a team, culture and people are the #1 commodity of our program. So I build our program with people first, okay, then we teach them the other stuff later, as opposed to someone having volleyball skills and then trying to make them a good person. I think the balance has to go the other way, okay? So I personally have broken down leadership into 3 different areas. The first one is your personal responsibility to the word leadership, okay? And so this is what I think you need to prioritize. So the first one is, these are things that you can demonstrate leadership in that are you own them. Does this make sense? These are things you need to give attention and time to, okay? So the first one, and these are not in order of priority, okay? But they're in order of significance in terms of they're all on the wall, all right? So the first one is school, okay? You all need to commit to being a good student because your education is your future. And the truth of the matter is young men's brains develop differently than females' brains, so they develop later. And the truth of the matter is most of you don't place an importance on school as early as you should. So if you are in grade 11, this should be an early wake-up call. Well, it's actually a late wake-up call, but you need to get involved and engaged in your school. Okay, because your school is your future, regardless of whatever your future looks like. Okay? With respect to volleyball, which is the sort of the format we're in, this is very important because if you don't understand where you want to go or what the actual academic requirements are, you can have the biggest wish list in the world and that can get shrunk in a hurry if you don't have good academic marks. Okay, so you can go anywhere you want in your brain, but you may not be able to get there with the work you've done in your school. Okay, so this has to be a priority. And I know a lot of you are working hard to get your marks up, but you can't start 3 months before your last set of midterms to get looked at. Does that seem fair? I'm not your parent, so you're not hearing it from your parents, I'm sure you do, but this is an important message. I think this is the most important one, which is family. Regardless of what your family structure looks like, you all have people around you that love you. Okay? All of you. So having positive relationships with those people puts you in a good headspace. It makes you feel good. Surround yourself with people that make you feel good. That's the, besides serving, which is a skill you own and you need work on your serving, this is one that you also have a lot of control over, which is surrounding yourself with people that make you feel good. That is a wonderful thing to do. Okay? Your social structure is important. It's more important with this group than it was when I played. When I played, I would have done anything to knock out my teammates. And what I didn't have physically, I had up here. I was mentally tough when I played because I needed to be. Because guys could jump higher, they could do things I couldn't do. But truthfully, I wanted a lot more than they did. That was then, this is now. You're not wired that way. You're wired socially. Your value system is how many likes you get on your Instagram posts and how popular you are with your peer group. That's your system. Well, truthfully, if you have 500 friends on Instagram, I guarantee you they're not all your friends. They're just people that like stuff you put up on Instagram. Okay? A friend is somebody you can call at 2 o'clock in the morning and will just say where. That's a friend. Not why, not how come, not what did you do. A friend is someone you can call at 2 o'clock in the morning for the rest of your life, and all you have to do is say where, and they'll be there to get you. Does that make sense? That's a friend. Okay? Not someone that likes a picture that you posted, probably about yourself. A lot of you guys post pictures about yourself. It's funny, I see your stuff. Okay? It's great, but... So you're wired differently. That's not a bad thing. That's just the truth of the matter. And we as coaches need to get in front of that and understand how to get the best out of you, understanding that you're wired differently. Like cell phones have taken on a life of their own. So if you're a coach and you try to be rigid on cell phones and get into a fight with 12 of your athletes about it, you're probably going to lose that battle. You're probably going to lose your team slowly. It's going to erode. Okay? Placing value on guidelines around cell phones that you can both agree to, well, that's manageable because you both buy into it. You see the value of what you're doing as opposed to someone telling you what to do. I'm going to give you my philosophy on change. Nobody likes to have change forced upon them. Does that make sense? If I tell you you have to change, if you don't buy in, you're going to resent change. We change because it's important to us to change. So if you're in a relationship with your parents, your friend, if you're older, in your marriage, whatever, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, you only change because it means something to you to do it because you want to be a better version of what that looks like. Does that make sense? You are embracing change. That's the change that people want to do. If someone tells you that you have to change and you don't buy in, it doesn't work. Okay? This is very, very important, and I think it's very undervalued, is people's mental well-being. We as coaches need to know what's going on in your life to the degree of which you're comfortable telling us. There is no way I can get the best out of my athletes if I don't take some time to get to know them. Okay? And as an athlete, and as a mentor, and as a coach, and even in any walk of life that I do, people that care about me, I'm always willing to do more for. It's a good feeling. If someone cares about me, I want to care back. Okay, so if the coach wants the most of you, but isn't aware of the things going on in your life and doesn't have some ideas why you seem off, that relationship is probably going to be more difficult to foster in a positive way. Okay? Now, you have some ownership in that. You have to be able to be comfortable sharing things so that we have an idea of what's going on to the degree of which you're comfortable. But as coaches, more importantly, we have to be very aware of your mental well-being. Okay? Happy is the key here. A happy person. If you're happy, you tend to have good things happen to you. Okay, the next one, let's keep it strictly about volleyball. And none of you are doing this enough, and I'm not coaching you, so I can say what I want. Okay? None of you are getting enough rest by choice. I doubt all of you are making good food choices all the time, but I don't know. But I bet if I was a fly on the wall and watched you eat, I'd probably know. A lot of you are not. How many guys honestly rolled out last night? Tell the truth, put your hands up. Be proud if you rolled out. Put your arms up. Are you hinge problem or something? Or Okay, so 7 guys out of 24 rolled out. Again, I appreciate your honesty. 7 guys rolled out. Okay? There are so many off-court things that you need to, okay, I know where this is going to go, it's going to make me mental, but I'm going to do it anyway. How many guys want to make, if you're 18U, who wants to make the junior national team this year? I love this. Now we're going to get engagement. Look at this. What are we? 1, 2, 3. So we're 9 for 9. Let's just say we're 9 for 9. Put your hand up if you want to make Team Ontario Blacks. If you're a 17U athlete, who are you? Good. I know you can't put your hand up like that anymore. We agree. There's none of this. I don't know what this is. Okay. All right. So is there anybody in the room that doesn't want to play in a high performance program? Maybe we should do that. Oh, that would have been a better question. Okay. Yet 7 of you admitted to rolling out. Most of you probably are not eating properly pre-getting here. And I haven't touched on physical training. So the reality is, are your actions aligned, okay, with are your goals aligned with your actions and attitudes? I ask athletes that all the time. And the truth of the matter is, they're not. You want, but you aren't willing to do the things that you have to get there, and this is not a bad thing, this is just me being honest with you. You don't have to like what I'm saying, but I'm okay with it. This has to get better if you want to meet your goals. Okay. All right, next slide, Frank, please. So these are things you own. Sorry, go back one. The last, that's you. That's nothing to do with anybody else here. I can't tell you what to eat, when to sleep, when to train. That's you, okay? I can't tell you to make good decisions with social media. You know, some of the stuff you guys post on social media, if you played for me, you'd be riding a bench. Like, it's just crazy to me, the stuff, the drama you guys involve yourselves with, okay? This is all you. Next slide. Okay. So these are team leadership responsibilities. So these are things that you have influence on in the team setting. And we've talked about some of these already. So being supportive with your words and actions. I'm a big actions guy, because I can say anything I want to you, it doesn't mean I have to do it. But if I demonstrate things to you through my actions, you know they're genuine. Does that make sense? So I'm an action guy. I'm not a word guy. A lot of people talk. They don't follow their words. Being receptive and coachable. Okay, we saw some examples of this yesterday. Adapting to new change. For a lot of you, that 60-40 footwork is new. When we ask you to try it, we're not measuring your end success. We're watching your ability to try new things and be adaptable. Because if you already are so rigid that you can't change or want to learn, you're going to be very difficult to make better. Okay? So you need to be receptive and coachable. And receptive is in your body language. Okay? A lot of you are way too hard on yourselves. You need to embrace the core values of your team. Okay? This for me is a non-negotiable. So core values are coach-driven. They're what's important to me first. I'm the coach, it's my team. If you don't want to play on it, you don't have to. But if you do, these are the things that are important to me, and you're the kind of kid that I want on my team, and then we work collaboratively. Okay? Then we get player involvement. There's lots of ways to do it. I'm a mission statement guy. You don't have to do mission statements, but I like them because they're collaborative. You can call them whatever you want. But I'm big on collaborative engagement from the athlete first, because then you own it. Then you bring it to the coach, and we agree on it. Okay? So this is a big one for me. Another non-negotiable, adopting the team-first mentality. We before me. We before me. So I'll give you some examples of non-we before me. I shank a pass. Oh. Who's that about? The team or me? It's about me. Now, my error, which everyone saw me shank the ball, we don't need to relive it, but I make that emotion about me, and now my 5 teammates can't focus on the next play because they have to pick me up. That's a me behavior. It's like hitting a ball or getting a big kill and acting like you've never killed the ball before, like it was the biggest kill of your life. Well, I think there's moments to celebrate. I think the more you play, you understand moments when you can assert yourself on a match physically, but I don't think you need to celebrate all your personal achievements every single time, because that becomes about me. I'm a big we guy, okay? Following agreed upon standards. So this is a non-negotiable for me as well. Early is on time, so on time is late. Okay? Thanks. That should be on. You turn that off now, okay? Right. So for those people that got here at 8, there's always factors that are beyond people's control. Traffic, your parents don't get up in time. Like I understand that you're at the mercy of other people, but there's ways to communicate. So when you're in a team setting, like when we're in team settings for the summer, we were together 6 weeks this summer, our guys got a pretty good early memo that early is on time. So the second it becomes a core value and 4 guys are dawdling, the other 8 are telling them we got to move our ass. This is not going to go well if we're just on time. Okay, so I know I got up early, I went and got my coffee because I like my coffee, but I still made sure I was prepared that when you came in at 10 to 8, we were ready to go. So that's mutual respect for each other's time. So this is a big one, this is important for me. Cell phones are another example of agreeing on things. There's tons of them, we're not going to spend time on that. Holding each other accountable, the key here, see, accountable is a word you have to be careful of because it can have a negative connotation to it. You can hold people accountable negatively. I'm a positive person, so I try to do it in a positive and constructive manner. Okay? You're kids, you're going to make mistakes. It's those moments that we have to embrace those mistakes and make you better because you're going to make mistakes. It's how we handle those. Okay? So these are your leadership responsibilities, you within your team. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is the one that I think is very important that I don't see enough of, and it's taking opportunities that present themselves to be a leader without you having to have that coined term over you. Okay? So there are several types of leaders and personalities on every team. The key is to understand their leadership opportunities are not defined or restricted to one player. Okay? I'm not a big captain guy. To me as a coach, I just want the captain to be able to know the rules well enough that when I'm losing my marbles, he can just go back and forth with the ref and take a toss. And win more than you lose. And pick tails, please. I love tails. Those are, for me, what I want out of a captain. Okay, on the floor. That's a floor captain. I'm a big believer in leadership groups, councils, or groups within the team that can influence behavior. Because honestly, if we're holding you accountable all the time, we're in for a lot of trouble. Okay? Each of you, though, has the ability and responsibility to assert positive leadership when moments arise. So a simple one is, guys are dilly-dallying in the room, they got to be on time, you know you're going to be late, someone has to step up and say, move your ass because we're going to be late, or 4 of you are going to be late, and 3 of you usually are falling on the sword for somebody else. Does that make sense? Who's ever been in that situation? Yeah? I mean, come on, most of you probably have, okay? Ask yourself, are the actions of others consistent with the team's agreed upon goals? If not, then you share responsibility to speak up and address the issues. That's your job. It's your team, not just the coach's team. It's your team. Okay? You have to start to learn how to problem solve and hold each other accountable to the standards that on the previous slide we already agreed to. We're past that now. We've agreed to this. Okay? We have to coach, plan, do sessions, do video. We have a lot of work to do. We can't be holding you accountable all the time. Okay? I really believe that the best teams are led from within by the players. This takes a while to build. This isn't easy. In a club season, though, with 9 months, and many of you have, who's played club with their teammates for more than 3 years? If you don't have a good culture in your team, you're the problem. If you're not reaching your goals as a team, you need to start asking yourself what you can do differently, because the status quo is not getting it done. It's not getting it done. You doing business the same way you've been doing business is not getting it done. So you, as a group, have to take responsibility in that. What can you do? We're going to talk a little bit later about givers and takers. Okay, next slide, please. All right, so some concepts, these are concepts to consider. This is for coaches too, okay, because you have some coaches in the room. There's different ways to do this. I think leadership, groups, councils, you can call them whatever you want, are the better way to go. The key is, how do you choose these people? Like, you know, why are they on your leadership council? Are these the kids that are the best players on your team in your opinion? Well, that's a slippery slope. So my experience with this is you get kids within your groups that are respected by their peers because they have influence. Okay, like they have influence within the group, that's important. So one of the best ways to do this is leadership questionnaires. We've done this at Team O for the last few summers. It's not a perfect science. The program that I'm with this year, we did it. And it was interesting to see their answers. We put them in a spreadsheet, we write everyone's answers down, every single question, we start to see if there's some themes. And the questions are set up so that we get your opinions on things that are of value to you and the team. Does that make sense? Go on. I think I might have one on the bottom of my, sorry, I should check something here. I'll find it for you later, I'll bring an example up. But we have one that we used, and I've sent it out to coaches before that have asked for it, and you can word it any way you want, but it's a valuable tool. It's 25 questions, okay? So you get some feedback back from your athletes, and one of the things coaches have to do is weed out the popularity contest, because sometimes that happens, you get popularity contests, because it's really important to be liked by a certain guy, you want to avoid that trap. But these are really good ways to do it, and you get ownership, so you have ownership in the process, which is really good. I'm a big believer on giving roles to different players, because everyone can contribute, okay? And it creates more engagement. If you're on a team where you feel valued, you're going to give more to the team, okay? I'm big on defining roles, and I think the best quality a coach can have is being honest. Be honest. That's why it's in caps locks. People say you yell with caps locks. I don't hear that, but it's definitely louder, okay? The more honest that I am with each of you, the more receptive you're going to be when you know that that honest comes from a good place, okay? So defining roles, being open, being clear, concise, and honest. I am a big believer in quotes. I love quotes. I'm a quote junkie. Just because it inspires me doesn't mean it has to inspire you, but it's a great way to get inspired. It's also a great way to send a message. I don't communicate with athletes on social media. I just don't think it's appropriate, so I don't do it. I don't follow you guys. Don't take that personally. I just don't follow athletes. But one thing I do say to athletes is if you want inspirational quotes, you can follow me on Twitter, because I'm not going to follow you back, and all I do is post quotes. And it's a great way to send a message, because you can post quotes that often, if you find the right quote, it's actually a mirror reflection of where you are right now, and maybe if I don't say it, but you read it, and it comes from somebody else that has more meaning, and it hits home. So I'm a big quote guy. I'm really big on videos too. I'm not a techie guy, but I love inspirational videos. One of the things that I took out of the art of coaching that John Dunning does, he's now retired, but he was the legendary head coach of the University of Stanford women's program. So what they collectively did as a coaching staff is they built a 90-second highlight video of each of their own players to their favorite song. So they asked their players, what's your favorite song? They got all these answers. The players didn't know what was happening. They made a 90-second highlight video of all the things they did great, and then they sent it back to the players. And their feedback from their players was it was pretty awesome to see themselves doing things successfully to music, which is a positive thing, and all of a sudden it generates all these good feelings about yourself. How many of you, admittedly, are your hardest critics? You're your own worst critics. Oh God, all of your arms should go up. Maybe not all of them, but you have to believe it if you don't. I actually believe that you aren't your own worst critic, Dan, or I do believe that for you. Okay, so the more that we can create positive headspace opportunities for you, where you see yourselves doing things well in a good way, that's a win-win where I come from. Okay, so just different tools. Did you feel good when a coach says something positive to you? Yeah. Okay, so that's just another example. Okay, go on. All right, so some things for you to consider. And this is a big one. Don't try to be someone else, be you. You are special. Don't try to be somebody else. And a lot of you fall into this trap, where you try to be something that you're not, or you value something that you really shouldn't, and it takes away the genuineness of it. You should just be you, because you are special. And I say this to coaches too. A big coaching trap I see is coaches try to coach like other people, but they're not that person, so it becomes very disingenuous. It doesn't seem sincere. The way I coach is the way I coach. And one of the things that we have to be better about in the coaching profession is being positive and supportive of one another. You want to hear coaches get in a room and they tend to start talking about other coaches, and I'm like, well, this is not good. We need to generate our energy the same way so we can be the best coaches for you. That's our job. I already talked about this one earlier, but I'm really big on this one. Surround yourself with people you respect who can make you feel better, that really care about your personal care and growth. Okay? So my coaching philosophy has always been to make you the best person possible. Best person possible. Okay? So when we bump into Mrs. Smith, who just ate dinner at a different table, and she walks up to me as a coach and says, are those your boys over there? Oh yeah. The first reaction is, oh yeah. My first reaction is, yeah, those are our guys. Well, we just wanted to tell you that they were really well-mannered. That makes the coach feel good. That's you, but that makes the coach feel good. When Mrs. Smith drops her grocery bag on the floor and her cans are rolling everywhere, I want all 12 of my athletes to get a piece of that grocery bag and pick it up from Mrs. Smith. When Mrs. Smith's coming in the door at the restaurant and she's right behind you, do you walk in and hold the door open for her, or do you just walk in? What world are you living in? that make sense? That's the kind of qualities and skills that are gonna make you somebody when you get forward. I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news. I think it's all great you have goals, but many of you will play in the high-performance systems here. Less of you will play in our Canada high-performance systems, and way less of you will play internationally. And I think if I wrote on a piece of paper today, I'd be about 95% correct. I won't do that to you, but I think I could do it. Okay? So beyond volleyball, which is something to be passionate about, you know, be passionate about being a good person. Because that's going to get you somewhere. Okay? When I went into the gym yesterday, one of the first things I observed is many athletes walked by all of us and didn't say a word. I'm like, dude, I just drove 2 hours to come here and coach you. And I spent like hours building my presentation, whether you like it or not, and you walk in, got dropped off by your parents, and you can't say hi to me? Our value systems are way off. How hard is it to say hi? And if you don't know me, hey coach, I've seen you, but I'm Grady. I'm Ian. Hey Grady, how you doing? Good, how you doing? Good, nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you too. All of a sudden, all the walls break down. No, you guys were like, and you all went the other side of the gym. You all hung out with each other in your safe zones. It's amazing the behavior of athletes when they're trying out for something. When you want to get noticed, well, you say hi when you want to get noticed. And how do I know? Because I evaluated a lot of you guys for the last few years, and trust me, you said hi when I was around. Hey, coach, you saw that clipboard. Hey, coach, hey, how you doing? Good, how you doing? Then you made the team. I'm like, whoa, maybe we picked the wrong guy here. Maybe we picked the wrong guy. That happened yesterday. So here's a chance to meet new coaches, meet new people, and what you do, you gravitate in your own little worlds. That's got to get better, okay? It's the same when you want to be recruited. You know, when you're done with club and you want to go somewhere else, and you know, you do your school visit, and it's all very fun, and you're the #1 guy for the next 4 hours, and it's all very exciting. And then you see the same coach or kid at the gym 2 weeks later, they don't talk to you. So what? I have another body experience here. I could have sworn it's not that kid 2 weeks ago. Okay? So, then you want a job, right? And then maybe I bump into you later, and I'm the same guy interviewing you in a different world, and I remember how you were then. So just remember. This comes up on a slide later. I'll bring it back. Okay? It's right here. Perfect timing. You are always being watched, especially in this setting, good or bad. It's just kind of what we do. You know, how do people describe you when you're not around? And the big one here is the one you forget, and it's not your fault, but I'm telling you again, is that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. You don't ever get that chance. That doesn't mean you can't change someone's mind, but you never get that chance again. So think about that. Okay? Are you in the hallway swearing and goofing off? Are you not wearing your clothes with pride? Are you not a good teammate? Are you talking with other people and people hear you? If you don't know that Matt and I are hanging around in a corner drinking our Starbucks watching, and we're hearing you guys talk, we're like, whoa, red flag, red flag, red flag. Okay? So just be careful, right? Last one for me is more of a pet peeve, but it's my presentation, so I get to vote what I wanted. Be careful of temptation. This idea of playing on a team that may win, but at the cost of your development. This is a problem club. If I'm a parent, and I am a parent, and I was a parent of a kid that was like a role player on a team, worked their butt off, played a couple years varsity at Ryerson, never started a little bit of club. Never started, didn't play much of Ryerson at all. Good team kid though, worked her butt off. You know, as a parent in her last couple of years, all I cared about was that she played for coaches that cared about her and made her better. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about anything else. Because truthfully, you can be the best team in your mind and not win, and I can cite a billion examples of that. I can tell you that the Canada Games roster that we selected last summer is a team that very few other coaches would have chosen. I know when we chose it, we got criticized. We believed in those kids. We made the choices that we did for the reasons that we talked about that were aligned with our core values. And those kids did nothing but continue to impress us and work hard. They had a we first mentality. A lot of your clubs have a me first mentality. So remember that if you don't win at 18U, and you moved around and did all the things you wanted to do, for you, that's a me moment, not a we moment. Okay? okay? And then you don't win, and then you don't get developed because you didn't play as much as you probably could have, and then you have goals that are aligned with wanting to play in a program post-club, have you set yourself up in the best situation for your personal success at the expense of me for we? Does that make sense? Stand up. Okay, take a drink. Another example of a high-performance athlete, what should they always have in front of them? A water bottle. I don't see a single water bottle on the table anywhere. Good job, coach. A water bottle. Hydrate.